Week 1 is in the books, and I would just like to say that I was right. Mike Williams has some fantasy value. I deemed him my sleeper pick of the year, and he had more fantasy points than any other wide receiver on the Buccaneers roster. He only had 7 points, and those came because of he caught a touchdown pass, but he does have upside as a matchup-based substitute while playing that complementary role to Vincent Jackson. It's not like he's going to be a tremendous dud, but if your superstar is out with an injury or is on a bye week, he is a good filler. People are saying that he's not going to do anything at all this year, but he has some good upside. He actually outperformed a lot of the top names. He got more points than Victor Cruz. He got more points than Larry Fitzgerald. Something happens. Stuff happens. It's fantasy. And on that note, I would also like to say that I was wrong, because AP and MJD are both monsters. I was worried, just like everyone else was, that AP coming off of a major injury and MJD coming off of a holdout, they would not be able to perform at their usual level. They both proved me wrong, and I think the entire planet was worried that they would have a kind of Chris Johnson type situation where he came off of his holdout and he didn't really get back to form till the second half of the year. That he was a huge disappointment for owners, but AP is not Chris Johnson. This guy is a beast, and he proved it. He proved it on Sunday. In fact, both of them outperformed Chris Johnson, who only had 4 rushing yards on 11 carries. There's a reason I never picked that guy on my team. So for those owners who were smart enough to go ahead and grab AP and MJD, good on you. And if you actually started them, damn, you're smart. So yeah, smoke them if you got them. And as far as injuries are concerned, well, Fred Jackson went down with a knee injury, and he's expected to miss about a month maybe. And CJ Spiller, his value goes up. He's got a lot of upside. He is an explosive playmaker. He had some really long plays, found his way to the end zone. He had a big day last week. While Fred Jackson is out, CJ Spiller is a good fill-in for that. But there are consistency issues, be warned. Jon Skelton injured his ankle, so yeah. If you didn't already know, just don't pick up any Arizona QBs. They are always going to disappoint you. And Jake Locker hurt his non-throwing shoulder. I haven't seen any stories yet about whether or not he's going to miss any time. If he does miss time, Matt Hasselbeck might be a decent filler role, though. He's a smart veteran. He's got some weapons around him. Although, to be honest, I would have never had Jake Locker as my starting QB in the first place, and I'm guessing that most of you who play the game regularly had him on your bench anyways, if you had him at all. Because in both of my fantasy leagues, he's not even on a team right now. So yeah, and I want to talk about the Jets. What the fuck happened there? I don't even have to explain it to you. Just go online and look at the stats. I don't even I would like to sincerely apologize to anyone who took a risk on Rashad Jennings and Toby Gerhardt. Especially Rashad Jennings. We all got fucked. I'm right there with you. I had Rashad Jennings starting over Darren Sproles in both of my leagues. And why he got hurt, and now I was only gonna have him for week 1 anyways, because MJD, he was holding out, and Rashad had been playing pretty well. They had some decent matchups, but then MJD returns, and I'm like, okay, I might be a little worried, except he hasn't even practiced yet. And then suddenly, Jennings goes down with an injury, and MJD just takes off, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna be starting the rest of the year, barring injuries. So yeah, let's talk about people who really, Stephen Ridley, he really impressed me. And what even impressed me even more is people who not only picked him up but started him. They definitely won. It's been a long time since the Patriots who could had a halfback who could rack up points like that. He's an explosive playmaker. Let's see if he can keep producing all season long, though. And the last thing I want to leave out on is, do not misunderstand what happened in Cleveland. The Eagles' offense played fantastic. They really did. But the Cleveland Browns actually have a pretty decent defense. They are underrated. Now, the team as a whole has been lousy over the past few years, but last season they had a pretty decent defense, especially one of the best passing defenses in the league. Joe Hayden, in my opinion, one of the top 5 cornerbacks in the league right now. And, they played fantastic on Sunday, I mean. And they're not going to be as good now that Joe Hayden has officially been suspended, but they do have a good team. They honestly, if you look at the numbers from last season, they didn't allow a lot of rushing touchdowns. They didn't allow a lot of passing yards. This is a pretty decent defense, and they were tied for number 1 with not the Eagles, with the Jets after Sunday. I haven't checked yet today to see what the Ravens defense scored, but still, for the Cleveland to score that high, I don't think anyone was expecting that.